Welcome to Hop On Calls, where I, your host, Kevin Hop, make live cold calls every other week on LinkedIn with a special guest. Tune in to hear what it's actually like to talk to strangers and try and set a first meeting. This podcast is designed for any outbound sales pro that's looking to get better. Let's jump right into this week's episode and see what we can learn. This episode is brought to you by Connect and Sell, your live conversation weapon. Teams that use Connect and Sell average 5 to 10 times more live conversations every day with their prospects. As a cold calling consultant, I've used every platform out there, and simply put, Connect and Sell is the Cadillac of the sales acceleration space. If you haven't tried it out, your team can try it for free by clicking the link in the show notes below.
Woo! Here we are. Everybody, welcome back to another edition of Hop On Calls. I'm your host, Kevin Hop. As always, going live, making cold calls. That's what I do. But hang out with me today, Pereus. Welcome to the show, my man. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for having me back, man. I wasn't sure what was going to happen after that first time.
I think you came on and said, you said 2 meetings?
I did. I just didn't want to embarrass you a second time, So I wasn't, wasn't sure. Yeah.
Damn, a little talking to start it out. Love it. I love it. Ryan runs a business called Superhuman Prospecting, and you do a few other things. Ryan, if people aren't familiar with you, what do you do?
Yeah, so I'm the CEO founder of Superhuman Prospecting. We do outsourced cold calling, appointment setting, and sales development services. We're US based. We're smaller, have about 45 people. But then on the other side, I have a consulting company around cold calling specifically, and some other areas that it's branching out to, but it's called the H2H method, and just released a book on a cold calling method this summer called Trust Call.
Trust Call, much like Trust Fall, but we're not trying to fall.
No one's falling. Actually, that was was going to be some of the imagery on the front cover, but then we just said we don't use that metaphor at all during the book. So let's check out of that one and just put a little phone cord at the bottom of the T. Stick with that, or the C.
There you go. That's a little bit better. You don't want people thinking it's a book on falling. That would be nice. Well, I love it. You are my East Coast brother from another mother here. I'm in San Diego. You're in Philly. You also forgot to mention that you run a semi-professional soccer team. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah. And we did talk about that a little bit before. Philadelphia Heritage is an amateur semi-pro team. The Philadelphia market for soccer is really big. So a lot of opportunity for those guys and gals who want to continue their career past youth or college and kind of bridge the gap between that level and professional. So fun times. And we just won our first qualifying game in the Open Cup, which is a national tournament. And technically we could play Lionel Messi. So, we'll see what happens.
I hope that doesn't happen for you, because I think they score 100 goals on a amateur team.
I think the dream is better than what would actually, come to fruition if we did play him. So let's just keep it that. Yeah,
that's right. Awesome. Well, let's give a quick shout out to our sponsor today. Hop On Calls is sponsored by Connect and Sell. It's not a platform. It's a weapon, a live conversation weapon. We're going to be using it today. We're going to be hit and go. You're not going to be able to hear both sides of the audio if this is your first time tuning in. That's for legal compliance reasons, but you can hear both sides of the audio by going to the podcast. Hop On Calls is a podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts. We edit out all the PII, all the stuff that the lawyers don't want us talking about live on air, and put it on the podcast. So without further ado, I'm going to be calling salespeople, sales leaders, having conversations with them about what I do. Ryan, what are you pitching today?
I'm doing the same thing. I'm pitching for Superhuman. I have 2 different campaigns that I'm going to be calling for. One is a kind of our standard outbound call services. But then I have another campaign that I'm calling for, which is kind of a newer market that we're getting into, which is more of on the B2C side, which is kind kind of close lost leads with remodeling companies, which seems to be a need. So I'll be switching back and forth, see what happens.
I love it. Well, without any further ado, let's get into it, man. Let's hit go. I'm going to hit go on my side. Let's see if we can't get some conversations.
Yeah, this is the tortoise and the hare, totally. And I've actually not really used a connect and sell tool. Well, actually, we did pilot something similar, but I certainly understand it's like rocket fuel. It's like NOS.
That's right.
So got to be ready. Here, it takes training.
It's the good stuff. That's for sure. So talk to me a little bit about when you guys are making, you mentioned B2C is an angle that you're kind of moving into here. B2C, is there not like a whole nother world of like regulation around who you can and can't call?
So the big thing about the B2C market is that we have to be careful with...
Hey, this is Kevin with HCG. Kevin, how are you? Hey, how you doing, man? Yeah, my name's Kevin Hobb. I know I caught you kind of out of the blue here. Catch you with a minute to have a live conversation, or are you busy? No. You don't know me. This is what some people might call a cold call. The reason I was reaching out to you specifically here, I saw you're heading up sales operations at Rimini Street. Is that so accurate? Fantastic. Well, I actually run my own consulting firm, Hop Consulting Group, and I help B2B businesses have more live conversations with prospects in their target market through a range of different consulting services. Wasn't sure. Do you have a team that's going outbound these days, making live calls? Okay. I figured someone who's in operations would have a focus on enabling kind of the sales team to go outbound. And generally, I'm an expert on auto dialing platforms, on sales acceleration tools. Would you be opposed to scheduling some time where we could talk about your tech stack and talk about ways that you guys are doing outbound? Okay. Okay. That makes total sense. Not your team. Okay. So if you were me and you're trying to bark up trees talking about outbound sales, what tree would you bark up? Do you have a name for me? Okay. Okay. I got her name down. Okay. Let's see. Nice. Okay. Do you happen to have a direct number for either of them? I mean, yeah. Yeah, no, I get that. It's just, it's good practice to ask. All right. Well, I totally get it. Oh,
A lot going on here.
Heather? Yeah. East Coast lady. 3621. Fantastic. Now, last question for you, Kev, before I let you go. I can either let them know that I had a quick conversation with you, or we can keep this our little secret. What are your thoughts? All right. Awesome. Well, Kev, I appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to talk to a stranger. You know, some people say cold calling is dead. I disagree. Bye-bye. Hey.
Evan, what the heck happened in that?
Dude, that was rad. Okay.
Yeah. So there was that middle segment where he just went off for a while. And I'm like, I have no idea, because you're not like preparing any real responses there.
No, he was just
And then
talking.
Corner.
Just going,
Yeah.
going.
Well, like what? What did he say?
That's what he said. I brought up what I do and all that. And then he said, yeah, so he works a little differently here. And then he proceeded to tell me their organizational structure and like what they have going on and why he's not the right person to talk to. He gave me 2 names and then he gave me 2 phone numbers.
That was great. I heard that at the end. You said something about barking up the tree, and I was curious if you could repeat that.
Yeah. Well, one of the things, so I like that metaphor. I like metaphors in general, because if you're using a term like barking up the tree, that's very like kind of colloquial. It's very like relaxed. So people are more likely to be like, oh yeah, sure. You bark up a tree. I'll bark up trees and whatever. Dogs.
Casual.
So the line that I use is, hey, if you're me, you're trying to bark up a tree to talk about a certain subject, what tree would you bark up? And they know what you're asking. You're asking, who do I call next? And he knew exactly. And part of what he was doing there is he's like, yeah, all right, hold on 1 second. Hold on. And he like took like 5 minutes to get me the phone numbers. But then he's like, all right, you ready for the phone numbers? Here it is. Big.
Yep.
Fire.
Yeah, that was good. That was great. I like that because it takes away from, the directness of what you're asking to make it feel salesy. And it's like, of course, I'm looking for somebody, and here's a fun way of saying it, and kind of takes it, to a level of, you're kind of just, shooting the breeze with this guy, and he's just casually giving you information. That was great. The question I liked though too was, do you have a team, something outbound? Do you have a team making outbound?
Yeah, are you doing this?
That was great. Good question.
I mean, that's a great qualifying question, because I find that you can build a nice list, and I built a nice little list here, but even some B2B companies are, kind of giving up on outbound, don't have an outbound team. Like you can't call and say, hey, I want to help, coach and train, develop your reps. We don't have reps.
Right.
Last hop on calls, I talked to a guy who's like, yeah, we don't have any outbound. We don't do any of that. We're just channel aligned. We're all like older dudes that have channel relationships. And I'm like, all right.
That's when you say, I know this great company who can start a department for you. And then, we work out like a partnership deal.
Dang.
See,
that's what I do. Maybe
things are happening. Things are happening. All right. I'm going to call this guy. This guy actually, I called yesterday when I was training for today, and I got him on the phone, and he's like, no, I don't want to buy anything. I was like, well, I understand that. I haven't had a chance to tell you, what it is we do, and maybe we could help you. Would you be open to a conversation about that, at a better time? He's like, well, I'm hopping on a plane. Call me tomorrow. Okay. So it could be a little dicey. So I think I should go for it.
Not necessarily a cold call, but let's see how it goes.
Should I skip it? Will this not count?
Do it. No, do it.
Okay. I think it's more risky than doing a cold call. I'm more nervous about this one.
All right. Don't need to be nervous.
Butterfly. Pressure makes diamonds. I want it.
That's right.
Chris, this is Ryan with Superhuman Prospecting on a recorded line. We spoke yesterday briefly before you jumped on the plane. Does that ring a bell? Cool. How was the flight? It was long. Well, I'm glad you made it back. So I had called you briefly. We do the cold call appointment setting for companies like Buckeye Automation. And I was just calling originally just to see if you have a team right now doing outbound or if you've considered anything like that before to help you grow the rest of the year. Twice your capacity for the year. Good for you. Turn down more. Okay. Well, that sounds like a great problem to have. First of all, congratulations. And it was actually one of the reasons why we're calling a lot of folks in your industry, because we did see there was a high level of interest in automation robotics companies like yours. So that's awesome. How do you typically get your business? Is it from word of mouth or do you have a sales team? Been in business 20 years. Hundreds of companies. Gotcha. Understood. You got to spread like wildfire. Yeah. So engineers leave, and then what happens is they recommend you to their new company. That's the best word of mouth. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's okay. Uh, Understood. Well, that's no problem at all. Maybe what we could do is stay in touch if you're open to it, because if there's a moment that's a downtime, it might be good to maybe call back some of those folks who are waiting or current customers. And this is just really about learning how this could help if the time were ever right. Are you open to at least staying connected? Okay. Okay. Well, that's good for you. Yeah. Well, what's your email if you don't mind? If that's at least we can stay connected and just in case. And if you move on, then someone else could take over and have another resource available. It's okay if not. Okay. Okay. Yeah, probably. Well, congratulations on the retirement. No, yeah, and congrats on the growth. It seems like you got it tight. So well done. All right. Feel better. All right. Bye now. Bye.
All that time for a guy who's retired, he should be on the golf course right now, man. Why?
I know.
Cold call.
Hey, exactly. People just can't get off the phone with me. They just love talking to me, even if they don't want to be there.
I say why?
No, that's BS. No. He look, automation robotics right now is blowing up. And so we work with several right now who are looking to grow, and it's gangbusters. Product relevance is a huge part of how we identify the best folks to work with and how we are confident in a product that our messaging can be a good conduit for in setting appointments and leads. And sometimes this comes up. They have projects for 2 years or more, and they don't even have enough capacity right now.
Yeah.
So, what else do you say? I'm curious because he kind of got me. So I'm trying to find every angle. Well, when you're ready to grow, we could be that person or yeah.
The other angle is, hey, as a successful business owner who's over capacity, I'm sure other people in your industry that are focused on growth and are not as fortunate as you.
Yeah. That's always been my weakness is referrals on that cold call. That's great.
Man, that's why you're here. I'm helping you learn.
That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here, man.
I'll write the chapter.
Rookie mistake. Yeah. I like that.
I'm back in the
Please.
queue, by the way. So if I connect, I connect here. So we had a question from the audience, which was,
Oh, hey, this is Kevin with H2G. John, how you done?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm all right, but look, man, I'm calling you out of the blue here. Did I catch you at the minute to have a cool conversation, or you heads down something else?
No, I got a minute.
Fantastic. So, like I mentioned, my name's Kevin Hop. I actually run my own company called Hop Consulting Group. I work exclusively with B2B sales teams that are focused on having more live conversations with their target market. Is that something that you guys are working on, or do you guys have an outbound team at WorkWhile?
We do, but I think we're all set, man.
All right, so you guys are crushing it. Plenty of conversations, overwhelming amount of pipeline, things like that, or...
Yeah, we're crushing it.
Love hearing that, John. If you don't mind, I'm going to send you a LinkedIn connection request, and if we can connect there, because I know... Oh, you were at Career Builder for a while, huh?
I was.
Nice. I worked with Ben Goldberg for a minute, so him and I go way back.
I was working with Ben like 2 months ago.
Oh, no way.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, good that we connected here. Sounds like there's not really an opportunity for any optimization when it comes to outbound for what you guys do at WorkWhile. So I'll let you go.
All right, man. Thanks so much.
Cheers.
look,
Hey,
you
everyone's just doing amazing. Why didn't you do a referral request on that one? There just was like a quick exit of a call.
yeah, and he, we know similar people on LinkedIn. I pulled up his LinkedIn really quickly, which, by the way, for everyone out there, if you're not pulling up people's LinkedIn when you're on the phone with them, huge missed opportunity, right?
Yeah.
He heard very clearly what I was calling about, and he said that's not anything they have trouble with. I did the crazy statement, right? Sometimes I call it the crazy statement, which is, you guys are drowning in pipeline. Oh yeah, And what people normally say is they say, well, yeah, no, there's always room
Right.
for improvement. And that's kind of what I was looking for. And then I would
Right.
ask more qualifying questions around people, process, and tech and what he's doing. But he was like, yep, that's not a problem for me. So, categorically, if you think about like, what am I trying to do with cold calling? I'm trying to find people that have outbound sales and meeting, generation pipeline. That's like one of their top 5 problems that keeps them up at night. It's got to be in their brain. So if I call you and I say, hey, are you working on any of that? Is there anything you're working on? You say, absolutely not. I'm killing it. I'm not going to push them out. I'm not going to like bend the guy over on it. I'm just going to be like, all right, cool. We're connected on LinkedIn now. I know that this number connects to John. And,
Hi, I'm looking for Scott, or the person who's in charge of sales development there. Is that Scott Sheffer, or is that somebody else? I'm calling from Superhuman Prospecting in Pennsylvania. This company's in Pennsylvania. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. I'm on hold.
oh, you're on hold.
I'm on hold now. So she answered. I was calling right after yours.
Yeah. No worries.
I wish I could have you guys hear this hold music. It's a classic meme one where you dance to it, and it's like pretty good. Slaps. So how long do y'all wait on a hold line? That's what I want to know.
Well, I use Connect and Sell, so I don't ever sit on hold. Life is too short to listen to the phone ring. Everybody see this shirt? So if you're using technology, you shouldn't really be waiting. Also, I would only, all right, let me put it, here's,
Steve do you know when Steve will be there? Excuse me, Scott. Do you know when Scott will be there? Okay, no problem. And what was your position again? You're the accountant. Okay. So probably don't deal too much with sales development. Okay, but Scott would be the person. Okay, so I'll call back for him. And what was your name again? I'm sorry. Nicole. Thank you so much. I know. All right. Nothing happened. Go ahead. What were you going to say? I'm sorry.
There's a scenario where I would call, and that is if I was told by someone that knows this guy's schedule, or, here's a scenario. I've gotten an email before saying like, yeah, that sounds interesting. Let's chat about it this afternoon. I'm free after 3, right? And the only number there is like a direct to a gatekeeper type situation. I'd call that and say, hey, yeah, Bob asked me to call, know? But that's kind of the only scenario where I would have the patience and think it's worth my time to like wait on hold, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And I get you. I think, especially if you have a big market, and there's lots and lots of contacts, that's brilliant. I love that. If sometimes we get these like smaller lists where someone's like, we have 100 or 500 contacts and that's it. That's our entire market. So it's like sometimes have to go through the hoops. And if they're like, hey, they're in, you get to the gatekeeper and they're in and they pass you off, I guess it's kind of a different strategy, I guess, in some ways, because sometimes these gatekeepers end up being somebody. That's why I asked, like, if she was like, oh, I'm in marketing, well, maybe we can open up the door a little bit without realizing it. But who knows? Who can say?
Who can say? How often are you guys finding that you can call a main line and someone's picking up? It's not like an auto attendant or something like that.
Well, it's funny, like our top 10 SDRs for the year, there's generally a correlation between those who have a high appointment setting rate or high lead setting rate and those who have high decision maker conversations, right? Because, feasibly, or, you would guess that the people who have more connects have more opportunities to have an appointment. And so, it's a good question. I think it depends on the type of company, type of phone system. Some people can navigate them and get to the right person. It is slower though, for sure. Definitely not as fast, but the conversions can be higher. So it's sometimes hard to know. But certainly, if you have lots of contacts, going through as many as possible, getting to decision maker quickly is best thing.
Yo. There you go. Well, I am back in the queue here. So the other thing, like you had asked, why didn't I go for a referral on that? The other thing that I know about my persona, like people in this list, it's all people that are either vice president level or above. And they're not all just like sales leaders.
Hi, Art. This is Ryan with Superhuman Prospecting on a recorded line. We provide cold call appointment setting for automation companies. And we're just giving you a call just to see if you have an outsourced partner right now to help you make calls to generate more opportunity for you, or if you've considered anything like that. Okay. Thank you. Now, so you must be doing well. I'm getting a lot of that where a lot of companies like yours are kind of over capacity. Is that the case for you right now, or is it a different reason? Okay. Okay. How many are in your market, if you don't mind me asking? You said it was smaller. You have three potential customers that you can reach out to? Makes sense. Okay. How many people are at those locations? Is it just one contact? Thousands at each one, though. Okay. Gotcha. Are these government entities or not disclosed? Got it. Gotcha. But that's all you need, it sounds like. Okay. All right. Yes, it is. Yeah. So about 7 years. Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, just trying to hustle. All right. Otherwise, we'll all work for the government. It'll be nothing. That's right. So yeah, hooray for private small business. All right. All right. Thanks, Art. Talk to you later. Good luck. Bye. Dang it. I forgot to ask the referral question. What am I doing?
You're
He's blowing smoke. This guy was complimenting like what I was doing, and he got me. I'm not used to positivity. I don't know what to do with it.
You're not used to positivity.
No, this guy's like he's like, first of all, he's like, he's like, we're not really going to be a good fit. It's interesting. I like what you're saying. I was like, okay, well, how big is your market? He goes, 3. I said, excuse me, you said 3 companies? He's like, yes.
Wow.
And so he didn't disclose. He wasn't wanting to disclose who those companies were, but he said that it had thousands of employees each. So this is Amish company. Maybe it's Amazon and Walmart or something.
Yeah.
And why would you need anybody else if, they're feeding you? But then he just started asking me like, is this your company? And then I just froze.
Yep. No, when I heard you say, 7 years, I was like, oh, he's patting you back.
That got me. That stunned me.
I'm not
used to
that. When people try to poach you on the phone, it's the highest measure of success. I feel like I've had it happen.
So?
I've had it happen over a dozen times in my career on a cold call where someone goes, wait, you're good at this. How long have you been doing this? You want a new job? You want a job?
Yeah.
I'm like,
right.
Yeah, dude, I do consulting. Let's talk. And then they go, oh no, we just want to hire you as an SDR to grind all day for $45K. I'm like,
yeah, nope. It's better. Hey, you're right. That is a better compliment than when they say, go get a real job.
Yeah, that does happen. That does happen.
But I like those. I actually feel like I get a little bit more spicy with that one rather than I don't freeze up as much like I do with this. So I don't know what I prefer.
Look.
Anyway, thanks, Art. He's a nice guy. Good for him.
Onward and upward.
Ask for referrals.
Yeah, I'm in this queue.
3 potential customers.
That just means that he just does account management, right? Like sometimes you can just nail some big accounts and you got business coming to you left, right, and sideways, and it's just your job. Like you can make a nice little, very profitable business on 3 customers that you just
yeah, especially if they have thousands of employees. That's no small to mid size.
Yeah, like what if Google called and said, "Hey, we want Superhuman to run our inside sales"? You'd be like, "Cool, that's like that's gonna be 40 agents, 50 agents full time."
Might as well make me a W-2 and partner.
There you go. Stock options.
There we go.
Be nice. All right. Well, I'm running on mine.
This is a wild market. Yeah, this is a wild market. This is my first time calling automation and robotics. We have several customers in the space. That's why we decided to make a list for it. But I don't really have much experience calling this. I'm finding that it's interesting when the market is flooded. You're experiencing that too, because it's almost like you see the market has shifted the last 5 years. It seems like this. Yeah.
You know what I get? Sometimes what I get, not very often, but I get the, we're using an outsourced agency that does our meeting setting. And I'm like, oh, they're making cold calls. They're like, no. They just do LinkedIn automation and email and it works great. And I'm like, cool. If you have a massive total addressable market, like you can get a lot done with cold email and LinkedIn automation. Let's be honest here, right? Like,
yeah,
you can get a lot done, but that well will run dry eventually. And there's a lot of negative brand impressions that come from like the high volume of messages that people do. So I still advocate for having an approach that utilizes phone, but
Yeah, it's harder to, I think it, like in any mass communication channel, you're going to have those, like you said, those were negative impressions, but it still seems that cold calls aren't as frequented as cold email and cold LinkedIn. So it still seems a little bit of a pattern interrupt, generally speaking. I can't say that for everybody. Looks like I see this question here from an investment perspective. Wouldn't only 3 customers make for a risky business? What do you think about that?
Very risky business, Stephen. Very risky business. You do not want customer concentration is a huge red flag when people are evaluating businesses, evaluating and
when you're looking to sell. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean you don't take those. Maybe you just keep growing your base, and it's just like you got this windfall potentially, and obviously smack that everywhere on your website, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, I think it can also be true. And the thing that no one wants to hear that is a reality is not every company is looking to grow. Like, not every company is looking for more and more and more. So in that case, like, yeah, it doesn't matter if you got the best appointment setting game in the biz, the best tools, the best consulting. No thanks, right? Yeah. Steven, I mean, to that point I just made, like, could be, but he could also just be like, look, I got my 3 customers. And if he's the owner, he knows his margins on it and he's making, X amount of money and he's working X amount of time. A lot of small business owners will look at that and be like, I'm good. I make my 400K. I work part-time. That's what I do. Like, I don't want to turn it into a big sprawling enterprise. I don't want to get more customers. I don't need to grow like that. So that comes down to the list, right? That's like who you're reaching out to. If you reach out to like venture-backed organizations, they're gonna say, we need more. Not only do I need more, but I'm way behind my pipeline goal. And I'm a VP of sales. I got hired because I'm buddies with the CEO, but I haven't sold anything in 7 years. Get a lot of that.
Hi, I'm looking for Jason Taylor, or the person in charge of sales development there. Is that Jason, or is that somebody else? Right. Oh, you're contracted by the government. Okay. Do you have any other customers, or is that the only? Okay, so you don't need to have a team that helps you grow right now with new sales. All right. What was you're at capacity. What was your name? Missy. Okay. Missy, I appreciate that information. So we help automation and robotics companies grow. We have several customers in the space. We do cold calling and appointment setting. And so I was just calling to see if that would ever make sense, even if you're reaching out to current customers or things of that nature, to do outreach. They reach out to you only. Okay. All right. Well, congrats. That sounds like a great position to be in. All right. Thank you. All right. You too. Bye-bye. Okay. I didn't ask for the referral one because she was kind of a gatekeeper. I did think of it. But she said, so I did get some information, and the reason I kept going with it is because she was asking me questions. And that's usually an indication we train our team that if the seemingly gatekeeper is asking you questions, what does that typically mean about their knowledge or insight into what's going on in the business?
That's right.
It means they know something and they're involved at some level.
They will know.
Might be more than a secretary.
That's right. Particularly if you're calling small businesses, it sounds like you're calling, smaller businesses. Like, they might be big with revenue, but maybe smaller.
Yeah, it does seem like that. Yeah,
you never know.
It seems that way right now.
The receptionist might also run accounting. She might also run half of operations. So she will have a good insight into where the problems are in the business that you can then, focus on. So,
right.
Good job.
And sometimes, thank you. I would say that sometimes, if I can get enough information or it sounds as if she has some level of autonomy or authority, I would try to set an appointment with that person, because it might make sense that, the final decision maker would want me to talk to that person anyway, or that person could champion it for me. You have to be careful with that because you don't want to waste time or energy doing it, but that's kind of what I was fishing for. But it sounds like they only do work with the government, and the government calls them. So once again,
that's tough. Being at the mercy of the government.
Being at the mercy, but it seems like they seem satisfied. This is so strange. Although a couple of our team members have been calling on this campaign, and I've had a couple of really good appointments, hour-long demos. And we have a couple of proposals out from the last couple of weeks from this list.
Look, small
So
sample size. Only had like 2 or 3
it
conversations.
does. That's true. But it does seem like in the future, the next list we do in this space, we'll want to make some adjustments for sure. I don't want to be calling these every time.
Yeah. Get it.
Calling Flavio.
I am on my side. The dollar's running.
Hi, is this Flavio?
Superhuman.
Flavio, this is Ryan with Superhuman Prospecting on a recorded line. We provide cold call appointment setting for supply automation robotics companies in the US to help them generate more leads and appointments. Do you have an outsourced team right now cold calling, or have you considered it to help you grow? You can barely keep up with what you have of customers right now. Interesting. Can you share with me a little bit more about who your customer base is and how big it is? 600 customers and mostly tier 1 to automotive. Okay. And so you said you're having a hard time keeping up right now. Do you ever go through kind of sales seasons at all, or marketing seasons to generate more opportunity for when the time is right, when you slow down? Okay. Do you have a team? That makes sense. Do you have a team that does outreach to your customers at all, just to keep in touch with them or connect them with an account manager? It's 80% by contract. Okay. Yeah. How many are in Mexico versus in the US of your customers? Okay. So sounds like there's some opportunity in the US potentially in the future. From an e-commerce standpoint. There's- Got you. More complex. Gotcha. How can you drive more people to your e-commerce page in the future? That's interesting. Okay. And you're the CEO there, correct, Flavio? Okay. Well, congrats on the growth, first of all. Just to give you a little background, we are an USA-based cold calling and appointment setting company. We have USA-based W-2 team members that do outreach and can conduct surveys and set appointments on your behalf so that you don't have to. And so the whole idea of my call was just to see if you'd be open to learning a little bit more about it. At least you could have some information for when the time is right and we could stay connected. You'd be open to that? Okay. And can I confirm your email? I do have F as in Flavio Marquez, Marquez. Awesome. So that sounds good. Since we're on the phone right now, and I know that you seem pretty busy, would you be open to maybe a 15, 20-minute call in the next week, and we can just kind of review some of the things, and that way you can have in your back pocket? Yeah, no. Send you an email, work on it. So, okay. So if I don't hear from you in the next week or so, or 2 weeks, it's okay to give you a call maybe in the beginning of October. Is that all right? That would be great. Okay. I will send you some info and look to connect with you there. All right. Thank you. Bye now.
Send him some information and follow up later.
Yeah.
What's your
I'm so unsatisfied.
Yeah, what's your success rate on a play like that? The whole Yeah, not right now. Maybe later.
I would say that I try not to judge the customer.
Okay.
I think sometimes it's tough. You just have to prioritize your time. I hope that we can maybe play that one back. I want to have anyone hear this because I feel like we had a good conversation. And he wanted to open up. He has a lot of customers right now, but he's looking to open up a side where he wants to have his potential customers or customers have access to their e-commerce site and get that going more in the US. And so there'd be kind of an appointment setting aspect to that. And so, that's possible in the future. And so he was like, yeah, we can certainly talk about that. I'm open to learning about it. And I tried to set the appointment and he said, I'm, out the next couple of weeks. And I probably could have tried to set something, but I didn't hardcore close that one. I just kind of let him send me that. He confirmed his email. Some people would say that's a brush off. I don't know. I don't know what's in his mind. And we just maybe instilled a little bit of belief that, maybe he didn't have before this.
But at the bare minimum, right? Positive brand impression, right? He heard Superhuman prospecting. He talked with you. You weren't pushy. You weren't a sales guy. He didn't smell your commission breath coming through the phone. The odds of him replying back to you and actually communicating with you are a lot higher. Now, it's outbound sales, so the odds of him replying to your email are very low. He'll see it and hit red and move on, maybe. What's he assuming? What's something safe to assume that he is assuming about you?
What's something that's safe that he's assuming about me that I'm going to follow up and, want his business? He's assuming I won't.
You won't.
There we
I feel
go.
most people do. If you get called out of the blue by someone and you're like, yeah, whatever, send me an email. They're assuming you won't follow up. So you have a chance to differentiate yourself. Follow up. Be like, hey, what's up? I told you I was going to follow up. I'm following up. I'm right here. Let's talk.
Great. Yeah. So watch out, Flavio.
Yeah.
You're going to get that follow-up, Flav. I'm okay. I'm all right with that one. Any feedback on that one? Because man, these are sending me for a twist. I'll tell you what, because they're just so far off of what we typically deal with. This is like new objection creation territory.
I mean, if they're not looking to grow, then they don't have a problem that you can solve, right? The other angle,
but we did get into that where he said we are, because a lot of his customers are in Mexico and we don't call there. So that's why I opened up that conversation. How much do you have in the US and are you looking to grow here? And he said, actually, yeah, we are. We want to go to this side. We've just been so busy on the other side. So it was kind of a new, it's a new conversation, it seems like to him.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Look, I would actually follow up with them, send him the follow-up email. Maybe if it's a high enough priority and you made enough of an impression, he'll reply. But I'm just saying, in the aggregate, from all the cold calling I've done in coaching and training, 99% of the time, prospects don't reply to your follow-up email with something thoughtful because they're assuming you're going to let it go too.
Right.
Because he didn't call you. You called him. And that's kind of the nature of the beast. Oh, hey, this is Kevin with HCG. Danielle, how are you? Ooh, you know what we're about to do here? Double jump. Heard my name.
You got to hang up.
So I'm going to call right back and say, hey, I had phone trouble. I'll call right back. And they're going to be like, the ball's on this guy. Why is he?
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
I just hung up. Now you're in trouble.
Come on, Danielle.
I wish there was a little segment pop up in a game show where it was double tap time and the whole screen flashed and ooze came down or something. Maybe in the metaverse. Can you call from a different number? I don't know. Maybe that's aggressive. Maybe we're on the line here.
No, it doesn't matter.
It's something that
she's in my list. I don't need to force the issue. I called her back. She did not pick up. Next time I call, I will call from a different number.
Okay.
All good. All good.
And that's the question. We say at H2H, the idea is to maximize performance without losing trust. So it's never black and white. It's not always black and white. It's always a question of what's the best thing to do. Are we hurting cold calling by calling from a different number and saying that? Or, is that an opportunity to help somebody out when they were originally rejecting us?
I think, I go off of never assuming, right? I don't know about you.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I like that too. Don't judge a customer.
On the double tap, you catch them and they go, "Oh yeah, sorry, I couldn't hear you. I had something going on." Like they genuinely didn't mean to hang up on you, and they did, right? So if they don't say, "Hey, I don't know you. Take my name off your list. Don't call me back," we call back. And you always assume the positive. Always assume the positive of like, hey, they just hung up on accident and we're catching them on a different day, different time, different, get them back.
Yeah. What about the triple tap? What do you think about the triple tap?
I don't like that.
That's
to
too
me
far.
Is a bridge too far. Let's move it into an annoying zone.
Exactly. I feel like that too, somewhere in there. Somewhere between 2 and 3, it's off.
Yeah. I saw an article, 6-7 months ago about some SDR saying that that's how you having success is triple tapping. And I'm like, dude, you're going to you're making it harder on the rest of us, to your point, right?
On the rest of us.
Are we hurting cold calling? Yeah, dude, you call someone 3 times in a row. Put yourself in that prospect's shoes. When's the last time you got 3 missed calls from the same number in a short period of time and you were happy to phone? You weren't like, right? I'd be pissed. Who the F are you? Why the F are you calling?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a spam. Then I'm like setting that to spam. Yeah.
There you go. Spam. I want Apple to do this, but I also don't want them to do this. But like if they had like when the number comes up on the screen, if I could click one button and never get called from that number again, be nice. Because right now I just hit reject call and then I go to my last calls and you click info and you click block caller. And I do that all the time because I, like everyone else, have my cell phone number.
Hi, Alex. This is Ryan with Superhuman Prospecting. We do cold call appointment setting for fabricating and automation companies. And I was reaching out to you because we have some case studies I'd like to show you in your space regarding some lead gen and appointment setting success similar to SCA. And just wanted to talk with you about that. Could you call me back? My number is 267-571-4546. First voicemail of the day.
Oh, it was a little VM. I thought you were pitching.
I was pitching his voicemail. I got right to his voicemail.
I'm sure he would love that. Like when I get some people to pitch me my voicemail, I love that.
Yeah. Do you ever call him back?
No, because they left a voicemail telling me they're pitching me on something I didn't ask to pitch on, I hit block number. I know definitively not to call them back.
Interesting.
That's just how I do it, right?
Yeah.
I try to put the emphasis like in the process that I teach teams, is put the emphasis on a live conversation with someone where they don't have pretense. So that brings up a question, Ryan. How often in your campaigns are you doing the air cover, the emails before you call, and then you reference the email? A lot of people are like, "Oh, that's how you do it. It's warm calling, not cold calling." And I've never really seen that work out very well.
I don't ever think so. First of all, it depends on the service level that they choose. So our basic packages are just calling, but they can choose to have, they can choose to have email and they can choose to have LinkedIn as additional to create that omni-channel. That's all we do is call, email, LinkedIn. But for any call, we do leave voicemail, and I don't necessarily mind. I would probably, differ on that voicemail where if I'm going to say, hey, whatever his name was, hey, Sam, can you call me back? I'm not probably a fan of that one because it's as if they knew you, but they really don't. So I don't mind doing that. I mean, I've gotten calls back where they said, hey, we're actually looking for, I think I have it on YouTube where someone called back and said, hey, we're actually looking for this service. I'm glad that you called us, and ended up going to several meetings and a proposal. But I don't have a lot of data on voicemail. So I can't say what the best is. And I wish there was more on it.
I mean, just to Steven's question here, it's, one thing that I've actually seen done fairly well is ringless voicemail. Have you ever seen that? You could plug in like 500 cell phone numbers into a service and it'll just drop voicemail in all 500 of them. Just like that.
Just be careful with the laws on that one.
I don't know if it's legal. I'd probably assume it's not legal. Is it legal?
Cannot confirm or deny on this call.
If we're talking about things that are illegal, you should also not be text messaging B2B contacts. Just so everyone else out there knows that every few months on LinkedIn, I feel like it goes full, like it comes around the old, some influencer or consultant or rep who has a following puts out a thing saying, I added something to my outbound cadence and it transformed the way I do it. I'm text messaging people. And then people go, oh my God, really? We can text message? And it's like, no, heavily illegal. Like it's very illegal.
You have to have opt-in.
Yeah. Your company can get so screwed financially.
Yeah.
For you text messaging when people don't ask for it. Now, the caveat there is like, if you're a salesperson in a deal and I've talked to Ryan and I know you and I feel like I have a one-to-one connection with you. Yeah.
Opt-in. Yeah.
That counts as an opt-in. You could argue in court. That's an opt-in. Hey, we had him.
Right.
I know Ryan. We talked here's our emails back and forth.
Hi,
right?
Bill. This is Ryan with Superhuman Prospecting on a recorded line, where we do cold call appointment setting for automation companies. And I was just giving you a call to see if you have, you're at a meeting. I'm so sorry. Can I call back at the same time tomorrow? Thank you. In a meeting, but he answered.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's
So
something
call back tomorrow same time.
Something that we talk about a lot on this show, which is the paradox. If you're in a meeting and you're busy, why'd you pick up the phone? People will continue to pick up the phone when they can't talk. It just blows my mind, man.
Yeah. Sounds like the meeting was boring.
Yeah.
Is that what I should say next? Is it a boring meeting? Is that why you picked up the phone?
That's one.
No, I'm not saying.
I'm glad you didn't say, well, hey, do you have 30 seconds? You just have 30 seconds to get my pitch out? I'm not a fan of that.
No, because just like that guy the first time, like the airport guy, he said, no, I don't want anything, right? And I said, we don't know what we do. And, obviously, just wanted some time to speak with you about it. He's like, well, I'm jumping on an airplane. I was like, oh, well, let's not talk right now then. How about tomorrow? He's like, yeah, call me back. And then he answered. And you guys heard that. So
yeah,
I'd much rather have that, set it for other time than, kill it right there, because you won't get that time again.
That's right. All right, man. Well, we are at about time here. Thank you so much once again for coming on here, Ryan. Where can people find you? Where can they learn from you? What's a call to action for you?
Yes. So, superhumanprospecting.com if you are in need of outsourced sales services. Still building some of the consulting side, but we have some script writing that we do for those who are looking for cold call scripts that we would write for our team and ones that I call from. This book, Trust Call, just came out this summer. It has 3 script frameworks that we will utilize depending on the market. And I think it's helpful just to have a structure that you can follow regardless of what opener, whatever you have, so you can have a quality conversation. So those are the different places. I'm on LinkedIn trying to post a bit more these days. So find me there or on a soccer field in Philadelphia if you're out this way.
Soccer field in Philadelphia is where I would go if I was really trying to find you. I know you'd be there. Awesome. Well,
You got it.
thank you once again for coming on the show, man. It's been a blast.
Welcome.
Last shout out here to our sponsor, Connect and Sell. If you guys haven't tried Connect and Sell, it's a live conversation platform, really effortless. You hit go and you get connected to people that you want to talk to. So go check out Connect and Sell. And everybody, I will be back in 2 weeks for more live cold calls. Thank you all for hopping on calls.